Another element of gear that you should be prepared to address is movement of the victim within the confined space. Sometimes we're in tunnels, sometimes we're in vaults, but a lot of times those spaces are truly confining, and you need to have the ability to rig a pull line or a haul line to the victim and load and be able to manipulate them laterally to your vertical point if you have a vertical entry. The system that we use most predominantly is RIT Rescue and Escape Systems. It's a 200-foot search line of RIT 900 line with two small retractables. We'll take the small retractables, and each entry person will take a retractable and clip it onto their harness. This will serve two purposes. Number one, if we have an offshoot or an intersection within the confined space, and we need to explore that intersection but don't necessarily want to deploy the entire search line down that direction, that backup rescuer can clip his retractable line onto the primary tend line like a glide point, and then he can enter that space or that area and go ahead and evaluate it to decide whether or not we want to take the entire search bag down there. Also, if he finds a victim at that point, he can do the packaging himself and then just retrace his steps. The retractable will retrieve his line and bring him directly back to the primary tend line. So each one of these goes with an entry person. The line itself has some options as far as anchoring. For the primary retrieval line, you can either enter into the space with it packaged and then find an anchor point within the space itself if it's needed, and then deploy the bag with you and let the line trail out behind you, just like you would apply it in a large area search operation. Or you can anchor the end of this line outside of the space to a primary anchor in a safe zone. If you use that principle, it has more options because it enables the personnel that are supporting the operation on the outside to piggyback onto this system and convert it into a hauling system outside of the space if necessary to retrieve that load or to facilitate what the guys inside are trying to do. The search bag itself can also double up as an assist line for the interior entry crews. So if we have a down point that's modified, maybe a 45-degree offshoot or something that's truly vertical, you can utilize this line between yourself and your backup man as climbing assist components or as hauling assist components to help guys safely get from point A to point B. If you elect to deploy the victim retrieval line and the search team assist line, always be conscientious of remembering that this is a different component than the tend belay line that is designated for the rescuers themselves. That tend belay line should not be utilized as a removal method for the rescuers. It is more of a lifeline to access the rescuers. Unless the interior team specifically requests that that line be utilized to retrieve them from the space, never pull on that with any type of mechanical advantage or force, because you may not know what situation your entry personnel are in. And if they're trapped or have products on top of them or in a precarious position physically and you start to pull on that line, you could cause significant injury to those entries.